Straight into it with hello and welcome to Hot Dice. Hello everyone who's watching for the league, the Escalation League. As usual, I have here on my far left Ben.
Hello.
And in the middle,
Me, Zippy.
Zippy, Adam the Zip. We obviously this league round 4 we're going to be playing. We only have 3 more missions to go before the end of the league.
Yeah.
And we'll cover which one of those maps there are. 2,000 points as standard. All the lists are in, Ben.
They are, yeah. All the lists are in on time, so thank you everybody. No slackers this time round. It's hard to think we're already at the midpoint of the league.
Yep.
I know it's 3-week rounds, but it's flying through for me. Already going into round 4. So same rules as round 3. 2K battle ready applies. So basically your standard 40k match now.
Okay.
Ready to go.
Great, and we have some people in the chat, so if you have any questions in the chat, just let us know. Obviously, we will be answering questions. We want a bit of interaction, have a bit of fun. Have some people sitting in there now. We're not on Twitch at the moment, because screw that for the league. We don't need that for our club league, I don't think. But I think it's worth saying thanks to everyone who is watching from club, because we got monetised this week, and the stream's going pretty well.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, Ben's been
And
fantastic on commentary.
We shall hopefully have 3 more games over the next 3 weeks again. So again, we will. A few people have messaged me this week to say they'd like to play on stream.
Really?
And I say that we are actively trying to give everybody an opportunity to play. It is open. Obviously, we are trying to provide quality games with painted armies, because that helps obviously the algorithm of YouTube in terms of getting more viewers and having people to watch. So
and we want to pick matches that we think are going to be close as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I think that I hate it when you start to see a game and you're thinking, oh, this is going to be great, and then something crap happens, like against me and Adam.
like someone fluffing all their attacks on the first turn, and then someone saving all their saves on the second turn. Yeah. It was still a good game, though.
I really enjoyed the game, but I think just for that point of tension, I'd like to have like a good 10-10 match. That would be great. But anyway, we have some people in here. Nurgle's here first. Hi, Rich.
As always.
And Phil.
As always.
So the first thing we usually do is cover the missions and select one. The ones that remain are Take and Hold, Raise the Banners, Tipping Point.
Another taken hold.
Another taken hold. Again, I don't think there were many 20-0s in the pool this time.
No, I think tipping point taken hold does change it slightly. I think it's a bit more defensive, but without hidden supplies, it's more difficult to pick up that 15.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm just looking at round 3. Actually, I can probably bring it up on the screen quick. There you go. The results from last time. There's 2 20-0s out of the whole, out of the 18 games that were played. Is that right? So that's great, and a lot of them were closer. 11-9s here, 16-4s. 16-4s is kind of like the high point there.
I can't think whose game that was.
we're as part of the intention of the league, we're definitely seeing people's scores go up. We're seeing consistently higher. People are posting. We see 20-0s at the start of the league. 1,000 points is a bit of a skew game type, but definitely we're starting to see people pick up points now, scoring points, and pick up wins. So it's good to see it mixing across. I think in terms of this round, we're in a position we have 5 unbeaten players. So we're continuing the Swiss format pairing. So effectively, you're being drawn in a bracket. So the 5 unbeaten players, 4 of them will be drawn to play each other, and one of those players will then drop into the second bracket, the 2 and 1s, and they'll be matched to play each other. So each week the idea is that you'll be playing against a player that's similarly positioned as you, same performance over 3 games, which I think is also leading to the closer games. Rather than week 1 and 2, you can end up with a lot more big 20-0s and things.
That's a really good point.
Because of the matches.
And as we get closer and closer to the end of the league, you're going to be matched up with people who are equal.
Yeah, I mean, we effectively could be going into round 5 with only 2 unbeaten players, which means
or none. Actually, it could happen that way. Into round 6
or none. But yeah, we're good to go. I've put the I've hit the button. The draw is about to begin.
Okay, shall I get?
Shall I do my only job here, apart from making stupid comments?
Beautiful assistant.
Yeah.
We have had that one already.
We have had that one. That was a 4.
5.
That was
5.
a 5.
We haven't had 5. I'm going to bring it up now on the screen for everyone to see, and it is Purge the Foe, Smoke and Mirrors, and Tipping Point.
Ooh.
Okay, Purge.
This one I don't like too much because I like to throw away my units.
Yeah.
I was going to say it certainly favours more elite armies.
Yeah.
Our horde players amongst us. Obviously, every unit you give up is 4 points to your opponent, so it's much more difficult to push forward. So I think that makes it interesting, but you can still pick up the 12 points quite comfortably with a kill, a couple of objectives.
Yeah.
So a good match, I think. I think it rewards skill.
And the thing is with Purge the Foe is you've got to be able to kill those blobs of 5 Bulgarians.
6 Bulgarians.
6 Bulgarians, sorry.
It was only 5, I wouldn't mind, but 6, that's beyond the beyond the limit. Yeah.
What do you think about this map? What do you think? Any pointers to people watching now?
Well, technically, this is probably the closest you see in WTC to those kind of double super L's. You've got almost that T shape in your deployment zone, which gives you an awful lot of cover, which probably suits Purge. I think there's a lot of places to hide, and there's that really strange little V on the inside of the map where you can just sit between 2 pieces of terrain. So, and effectively sit there and hold that objective. So it's I think it's a good match. This map layout to the mission.
It's a strange one, isn't it? Because you've got those 2 staging points on that middle objective, but you're usually quite exposed to the left here. So you can see where I think everyone can see my mouse here. But then that takes you very close to this staging point, this blue square staging point. So it is a really cool map. This bit always feels very open to me, where this container is. A little bit too open for my tastes, because you've got firing lanes from everywhere. But I think it's a well-designed map. It's quite tough to crack. It is,
and there's a tendency to think that Super L at the bottom, on the left, well, your left if you're sat at actually the table with your army deployed at you, is a safe space. But I went into Cardiff onto that, into some Chaos Knights, and I ended up the entire game trapped in that Super L as I tried to fight my way out.
Yeah. Phil asking, is it a good one for melee armies? I think we've actually played this.
It was round 3 of the Gauntlet.
It was, wasn't it?
Gauntlet, yeah. We played a different mission. We were playing Take and Hold as opposed to Purge the Foe on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be honest, it's got a bit of everything. It's got firing lanes for shooting armies, nice staging points for combat armies. It's a bit of an all-rounder, which I think I quite like. This is a
great test as well for Purge the Foe. It's that knowing that ability, you can't throw units away at your enemy because you're just going to give up 8 primary every turn for nothing. You know, you don't even have to hold objectives to score big on this.
No.
So it is an interesting one.
Interesting. Smoke and Mirrors is one of the. I always find that an interesting mission rule because it's basically, more often than not, the thing that you know your opponent's going to put in stat reserves anyway, they just stick on the table to pick it off again. So it's
just in case.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I guess it does give you that opportunity to perhaps kind of coax out a big deployment from your opponent and see where they pull it. But
good. I'm looking forward to this one.
Good game.
This is going to be tough.
Good matchup.
Excellent. So, without further ado, I think it's time that we start moving on to our league draw.
Ooh, okay.
I will start.
Are you ready to go?
I think so. I'm going to just sign into the chat quick. Can I think I can chat into here. I was going to start posting them up.
Perfect.
But it's okay, you can keep them. We'll just go through them one at a time.
Yeah.
So, round 4. The first of our unbeaten 5 to be playing each other.
The top tables, here we go.
Jordan Davies on his Chaos Space Marines, fresh from his 3-2 run at Coventry. Congratulations, Jordan! Great performance.
Congrats.
Into Josh. Drum roll. Burns. So it is. Yeah, I think probably one that the Joshes probably wanted to avoid each other this round in the hope of going into round 5 unbeaten. So it is Josh versus Jordan. So both fresh from 3-2 performances at the Coventry GT. Actually, both put up good numbers.
I thought I was worried I was going to hit every best player in the club on the way up.
So Josh versus Jordan that first game. So that would be. Have we had either of them on the stream yet? I don't think we have.
No, we need them. We definitely need them.
That
Great.
would be a fantastic game on stream.
It would be.
See the pair of them playing.
I think Josh's walls are even painted at this point.
He took them to commentary, so they must be.
Unless you play 10 points down the game.
He must be. So great match of that one.
Oh,
Okay, so on to number 2. And again, 2 more of our final 3 unbeaten players. And the first player up is Joshua Townley.
Oh,
On
that handsome devil.
On the guard into, this is an interesting matchup, Mr. James Wright on his 18
like
mega
stompers.
stomper mech killer.
And stomping is the word.
Stompling, yeah, which
That's
has
incredible.
been. Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting to see James come up with these weird and wonderful lists.
I love his lists.
Is it something like 18 killer cans?
Yeah.
Stomping down the field.
But he's been posting much bigger wins than me with that, so it seems to be.
Yeah.
It's very.
He's got a Gorkanaut, a Morkanaut. Yeah. Killer cans, 18 killer cans, flash gits, death dreads, trucks.
It's
Gretchen
a
and
really
Nex.
interesting matchup, that, because you're both packing an awful lot of anti-armour.
Yeah.
2 lists full of tanks and vehicles. Both got good movement.
He should beat me on the kill more.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
was going to say the kill more, because it's big blocks of, was it 3 killer cans to a unit
6.
as well,
6 killer cans in the unit.
which is
Yeah.
tough to
Oh,
chew
yeah,
for.
yeah.
But you've
That's
got the
gonna be-
Bulgarian, so that's going to be another good
I'm
matchup.
looking
And
forward to
those mechs actually make orc shooting hit on 4s. So
Yeah, it's fun.
a Morkanaut or a Gorkanaut with all those guns hitting on 4s might actually be worth rolling those firing rounds.
All right.
Cool. And
Never
then, lastly, of our
Looking forward to
unbeaten players, Matthew Jones at 3-0 on his agents, which, in fairness to Matt, he's posted some good results considering
He has.
the general belief of the ability of agents at the moment. I think he's going to hit a test here this round, because it is probably one of our stronger 2-1 performers. It is Nathan Evans.
Ooh, interesting.
On his CSM.
Nathan's going to mean
So-
business.
I mean, if there's one thing Nathan's list does well, it's rip apart Space Marines, and Imperial Agents aren't even quite that. They're very fragile, almost cloth wearing.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting.
He's
game.
not rocking the high mobility list, though, is he, Nathan?
Nathan has
He's
got
switched
an
from
awful lot of
Cyclones.
Chaos Lords, Chosen. It's fairly quick. I think he's got his Warp Talons in there.
Okay.
That should be an interesting matchup. So Matthew Jones into Nathan.
I don't know why I'm opening Matt's list as if I know anything in the actual
I have no
Imperial
idea.
Age.
One thing I've noticed with Matt, and it's post a game I played against him, he has put 3 units of the 10-man, beginning with an S, subjugators.
Subjugators,
They
yeah.
are the 4-up Invon
Subductors.
shield subductors guys. So he's basically
Right.
got 34 up Invon, 3 groups of 10.
Looks soak up a lot of damage. It's quite-
Especially for Purge,
Yeah.
they might be difficult to shift. So
Yeah,
good.
and as with every Imperial list, there is a knight for some reason.
Yes.
Not that it's a pet peeve.
You mean the compulsory Rex?
And there's the Rex. And talking of Rex, our next matchup is Steve Davis on his Space Marines, and I know that Steve also has Canis Rex in his Ultramarines list,
Okay.
and he will be playing myself.
Oh,
Steve's getting really good. Like,
Me and Steve had a few games over the past 6 or 9 months. I think
Yeah.
we played last league as well. That's, I mean, Thousand Suns are quite good at killing Space Marines, so that would be an interesting matchup. I don't like the idea of facing Rex. You can just pick up an entire squad in one shooting phase.
Okay.
So that should be a good game. So
Take note.
Look forward to that one, Steve. Next pairing, our very own Adam, Mr. Studart himself, will be playing. And this is an interesting game.
okay.
Oh.
No.
Michael Darby on his World Eaters.
Oh.
Scheiße.
Oh.
Have you gone triple land fortress again?
Yes.
He has. He has.
Yes. That could be interesting.
That's
Depends how
an
much fight on deck you roll.
So World Eaters into a very, very heavy Votan list.
At least he's been nerfed that you can only run forward once when I shoot him.
Yeah, that is an awful lot of. But I think there's some I think Mike may have switched back to some 8-bound this time rather than 60 berserkers, but off the top of my head,
Which is actually better for you,
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think, because
We
your
should
fighting
say-
death hurts more
Yeah.
in that exchange.
Yeah.
Okay. I finally got to log into the chat. Hey chat, there you go. I can chat to you on here, but anyway, Fur thinks it's staged because I keep getting easy matchups in his opinion. All I'm going to say is he's full of shit because I feel like they've been very difficult matchups. It's just guarded ridiculously broken.
So World Eaters into Votan, that would be an interesting game.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah, that should be fun.
That could be a good stream. Let's see.
Fixture number 6, Babyface Reese by his own naming convention. He called himself Babyface. I think he's just accepted it now. He's stopped trying to shrug it off. He's accepted the Babyface. So it is Babyface on his Death Guard versus Simon Jones on his Custodes.
Custodes into. I think that's interesting. Didn't they? Has Reese played Custodes before? He did. Didn't he play Nick?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Reese has been into Custodes.
Did he not play them at RRTT? Did he not play Nick?
Possibly.
I can't remember now.
Death Guard and Custodes is an interesting one. It's the minus toughness is pretty big into Custodes. It does have that break point, and obviously potentially putting them to saving on 3s, forcing them onto their invons every time, maybe making them actually hit on 3, -1 to save, -1 to hit. It's, I think Death Guard and Custodes is probably one of the better Space Marine matchups into them, because you can really mess up their saves and their toughness. So that'd be a good game, that one.
Yeah. How many Terminators do we know? I don't have a lot.
No, I haven't.
If he's not got 18, Reese.
I think Reese has only got one squad actually.
Yeah, I'm joking.
He's played a genuine list.
Good.
Next pairing is Bearded
Oh.
Steve.
Sorry, Reese played Nick on the stream. In fact, this last league game.
Yep.
Oh,
There
of
we
course
go.
he did.
Thanks
yeah.
for that, Rich.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Our memories were old. This is why we need you guys.
So he's pulled our second of our 3 Custodes players. He's basically Josh is reliving his time at Warhammer Fest when you played 3 Custodes.
Never again.
Okay. Next up, Bearded Steve on his Necrons.
Okay.
My brain is completely. I was looking through all these lists last night, and I was checking mainly points and war gear rather than actually taking in what's in them.
It's mostly
I know it's not.
Wraiths.
I know it's not. The monoliths of
Double
Gone,
Doomstalker.
Yeah, lots of Wraiths.
the Wraiths list.
Locust
Double
Destroyers.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It does one. I like it. It's double.
Yes.
So it's quite a combat heavy list.
Yeah.
Into Matt on his Orcs.
Ooh.
So. Good matchup again, I think there.
I do think Matt at this point is wishing for something that he can actually crump in a fight.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
keeps getting melee lists.
the Wraiths do like to just keep hitting those 4-ups with the Technomancers. So
It will hurt back as well.
Yeah.
But
good combat list.
he's going to struggle on Killmore for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a great test for Matt at this stage. His first league.
Yeah. And Matt's made some changes to his list as well.
What's in that orc
He's
list?
put some killer cans in there. He's put a mech in there to support his flash kits, I think, in one of the battle wagons to hop out and give them 4-up shooting. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so still a bit of shooting as well as the.
Yeah, he's got some knobs in there.
Is that Gorkanaut? He's got Gorkanaut still, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
Next on the draw.
Okay, next up. So Fur on his guard.
Okay. Phil
We'll be
out for blood.
playing Jack and James on their
Oh,
Space Marine.
Jack and James. Who
So-
are the wild cards?
They are.
Yes, posting some strong results so
They
far in the league. I think Guard are a tough ask for Space Marines at the moment. A lot of 2 damage they can pump out. Bolgrins can be difficult to take down, but be a good game that one as well.
Okay.
Next up is Simon Payne on his Dark Angels, and he will be playing Paul Murphy on the Tower Empire.
Simon, where is he here? He went into Alex, but didn't.
Other Simon.
Other
Sorry.
Simon Payne.
Where am I seeing Simon Payne on the last league here? Okay, Dark Angels, yeah. Got Mike Bolton 16-4 into that.
Beat Martin 16-4. And that was quite a good game, that one.
And who was the other player? Sorry?
Into Paul on his Tower Empire.
Am I seeing Paul? Where am I seeing Paul? It's hard to read this. There he is, 10-10
Yeah.
into Harry C's Necrons. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I think Dark Angels, how are they looking at the moment?
I think the points increases have hurt them. I think it's difficult to run 3 knights now. Simon does generally actually run one of the Dark Angels detachments as well, rather than the standard Gladius, which you see most playing.
Yes,
So
Unforgiven.
he does like to play more of the actual traditional Dark Angels.
The
All credit to him. He likes to play the actual Dark Angels models themselves rather than switching to Gladius.
Yeah, so he's got the old line in there. Asriel, 2 units of definitely knights. Yeah. Assassin, because if you're not taking a knight, you've got to take the assassin.
Just too strong.
Yeah.
at the moment. Next up is young Alex on his Necrons, into Jordan on his Space Marines. So I know Jordan had a tough matchup last round. I know he's got again an Ultramarines core Space Marine list.
Yeah.
I think it's the Jordan Gillespie. I think it's
Jordan Gillespie, we've got Jordan Davis, obviously.
Intercessors, heavy intercessors, aggressors, ballistas, blade guard, repulsors, 2 repulsors, blobber terminators.
Yeah, really good. It's a very solid all-round list that can go into everything.
Yeah.
I think I actually probably got a stronger list for this mission because he's not given up too much soft chaff. He's got quite a lot of heavy hitters there, a couple of dreads.
What's he got there? He's got blade guard, eradicators, repulsor.
He's got both types of repulsors. I'm reading these out like I know what the difference between an aggressor and an eradicator or a intercessor is. To be honest, I think one of them gets a chainsword.
None.
No, okay.
It's all right.
Cool. I was close.
Cool. Next up, Phil Roberts on his sisters.
Yeah.
Into James Larkin on his CSM. So James had a good run out at Gauntlet as well, so it's good to see James back. Playing a good few games, so hopefully we'll get him back to club over the next few weeks. So Phil on his sisters into James again. Sisters, I think everyone thought they were going to get a bit of a harder whack in the recent slate.
I think
really,
they just had to pivot slightly.
Just swapped a couple of units around. Very minimal. Certainly look like they're going to be strong going into Christmas.
Good luck, gents.
So that'd be a good matchup. Next up is Martin on his Necrons into Josh on his Chaos Demons. So Demons into Necrons. Always an interesting game, that one. Is Martin playing Hypercrypt?
He is playing Hypercrypt,
Yeah, so you've got 2 armies completely revolving around, jumping up and down off the table. Always an interesting game, that one, because you're just seeing 2-3 units each turn coming off. There's never anything on the table.
It's not 7 greater demons though, is it? The demons list.
No, Josh tends to also play bring a couple of brigands, a bit of a more mixed list. It's not just 7 greater demons.
Prince of Chaos, Unclean One, Horticus, Slimax, Rotigus.
So actually, Josh has pivoted this round. He's still got a couple of War Dogs in there.
It's like a traditional.
There is quite a lot of Rotigus, Great Unclean One, Demon Prince. Oh yeah, the double Demon Princes, which is an interesting way of playing. Gives you massive movement, which is pretty cool. So again, that's going to be an interesting one to watch. See who gets the better spots. Who screens best will be interesting.
It'll be interesting to know from chat, from what you've seen so far, what your preferred stream would be. So please give us a shout out so far on what you've heard so far.
Yeah.
What's left then?
So next up is a battle, and this is quite apt considering the announcements at the weekend. It is a Eldar off. That's such a thing. It is Eros versus Tristan.
Barry called it in the chat.
Did he?
He said, I reckon Eldar versus Eldar. There you go.
But it isn't Barry. So Barry, our third Eldar player, has missed out, and it is Eros versus Tristan. So Eros is Eldar into Tristan's Eldar. That would be an interesting one. Both play very different lists. Eros always tends to have an interesting quirk or two. I do like the lists he builds.
They look like the Eldar lists from the late 90s.
Yes, it's always great to see all the aspect warriors on the table, and sometimes brings the knights and a bit. It's always fun to see it on the table. It looks great as well.
It does.
So that'd be an interesting game. See Eldar into Eldar.
Double D cannon.
Yeah,
he's got the double Ds.
Yeah, he's got the double Ds.
You got to bring 2.
I still live in fear of them. I know they've been nerfed, but I still move.
They're not. They haven't been nerfed. They're just really expensive.
Well, yeah, same
They
thing.
look quite interesting. Whose is this?
This is Tristan's now. Avatar okay.
He's got the avatar, so that'll be tricky.
Yeah, Free Spirit Seers, Guardians, Wave Serpent,
Fire Avengers,
two Fire Prisms, Wraith Lords and Wraith Blades and Wraith Guard.
It's very much can you kill it all in one?
Yeah.
Okay, that'll be interesting.
Too heavy hitting.
In terms of kill more, Tristan could have the edge on that one. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Good luck, gents.
Cool. So 5 pairings left.
Okay.
Next is Nick on his Custodians, playing Greg on his World Eaters.
How do custodians like going into World Eaters, Ben?
It does depend on the World Eaters list. I think it's one of those games. Whoever gets the charges is generally going to win. I think where I'd much rather have a 4-up Invon than a 6-up Feel No Pain or a 5-up Feel No Pain.
Yeah,
personally. So they both got good movement. Nick has the Blade Master for the advance and charge. World Eaters based the entire army can get the advance and charge. This could be an interesting mission because normally I think World Eaters would be aggressive, but the Custodians is an elite. There's like 5-6 units that are going to be out on that table. It's going to be very easy for Nick to potentially score Purge, kill and kill more, if Greg has to overcommit 2 or 3 squads to take down a unit. So I think normally it'd be a good matchup. I think
Nick's not had an easy run of it, has he? With his
He's not
Custodians?
recently. I think this mission suits him though. I think in this mission he's probably got the edge there because he can almost say, "Come and hit me, roll the 4s and pick up the Purge." So Nick's had a tough run in. He's not having it all his way this time.
No.
I think we all like to see that for Custodians. We don't like to see.
Don't we?
I don't like. Not anymore.
Oh, he's like a
I don't like to
player.
see him get a good run.
He has repented.
They're not true unless they bring the bikes back. They're not true Custodians.
I've got PTSD over that bike list.
Yeah.
You're the reason they got nerfed.
More than likely, they got destroyed. Right, next up, this is a good game, mainly because I actually enjoy watching these two guys play each other. It's always a good game.
Right.
It's Mr. Naismith, so Rich on his Death Guard, into Senor Sodek on his Custodians. So Alex Sodek into Rich. Be a fun matchup, that one. Two good guys, good players, good looking armies. If Alex brings all the stuff that I painted and not the stuff that isn't painted, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, should be a good game, that one. I'd like to see
Could
that
be one for the stream. Who knows?
We've got 3 left.
Okay.
Next up is Lee Hughes on the Templars into.
I've been shouting at him about how he wasn't aggressive enough on the stream.
Well, he's going to have his opportunity because he's going into Andy on his Ultramarine.
On his Ultramarines, oh nice.
Ooh, that'll be good. Both very new.
Yeah, Andy has made a few tweaks to the list this round. I think obviously Andy was one of the players that was hit hardest by the Gladius changes. Had basically everything that was nerfed was in Andy's list pretty much, in terms of the Eradicator, Brick, the Fire Discipline.
You've just reminded me, Andy did message me privately a few days ago asking me to give him some advice on his list, and I forgot to reply.
Luckily,
a bit late now.
He messaged me as well. Yeah, I did have a good chat with Andy about.
Why does no one ever message me?
Yeah, it's a good,
especially about Space
and I would say
Marines.
that to everybody, because sometimes I think people can be a bit sheepish about it.
Yeah.
This is not an ultra competitive, can't help each other league.
No.
There's a few people I will happily have a conversation with about their list. People talk. I think we've seen a couple of rounds where some of our similar faction players have tried a few different things.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, guys.
And help each other out.
Yeah.
You know, you can ask advice. I mean,
Especially after a balanced slate.
in my opinion, most people don't listen to the advice anyway, so it's...
I've never listened to your advice. I listened to it once.
Yeah. Shame you listened to Nathan's though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Definitely Nathan's fault.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And
And I've definitely not bought it again.
So we're coming to the end now.
So we have 2 pairings left. We have Chris Hughes on his CSM. So I had the pleasure of playing Chris last round.
Beautiful.
Really, really good on looking on the table. And he will be playing Harry on his Necrons.
Great.
Again, a jumpy list. Chris tends to play a lot of heavy Defilers, Forge Fiends, a lot of shooty stuff. Harry tends to play a more balanced Necron list. It should be a good game. And then last but not least It is Barry on his Eldar into Ty on his Space Wolves. So, yeah, good lore-based. Triss will enjoy that one. Space Wolves into Eldar, two of his original armies. That should be a good game to watch as well. I think Space Wolves obviously have had a big hit to their Thundercav. I don't think it's done too much damage to them, to be honest. I think a few tweaks, they're good to go. And Eldar, we're still waiting to see when they're going to come back into the mix again.
And I'll just bring that table up on the screen so everyone can actually see it. You should see it now, everyone. Just give me a shout out. I'll just see if I can make that a bit bigger for everyone. Go, and there we go. So, just to cover it again, we'll post this on the website in a minute. I'll go back to the office and make sure it's all posted up. I've got a lot of those to do. I've been lacking, a bit lax recently, but we have going through it. Josh Burns into Jordan Davies, Matthew Jones into Nathan Evans, Adam Studdard into Mike Dalby's World Eaters, Bearded Steve into Matt Hughes' Orcs, Simon Payne, Dark Angels, Paul Murphy, Tau Empire, Phil Roberts in his Adeptus Sororitas, in his James Goblin Chaos Space Marines, Eros in the Eldar off into Tristan, Alex S. Custodes, Custodes even?
Yep.
Astodes, Richard Naismith's Death Guard, Chris Hughes' Chaos Space Marines, and Harry C's Necrons, and then back up on the other side, Joshua Townley's Astra Militarum into James Wright's Orcs, Steve Davies' Space Marines into Ben Lane's T-Sons, Reese and his Death Guard into Simon Jones' Custodes, Fur in his Guard into Jack and James, the duo from Down Under. I don't know.
They know where you're going with that one.
I don't know either.
The Troublesome Twosome.
The Troublesome Twosome, because they bloody hell, they give me a hard game at that RTT. In their Space Marines, Alex Rich Tarek is Necrons into Jordan's Space Marines. Martin Bolton's Necrons into Josh S's Chaos Demons. Nick Maggs Adeptus Custodes into Greg Roberts' World Eaters. Lee Hughes Black Templars into Andy Adamson's Ultramarines. And last but not least, Ty's Space Wolves into Barry Betts Eldari, and that's the entire roundup. So there you have it. Without further ado,
some good pairings. I would just, in terms of streams, guys, can I ask if you are interested in playing on stream, please check with your opponent first, because sometimes we have an instance where we look to put people on stream and one person doesn't. So check with your opponent, and if you both are interested, please let us know. We obviously can't show everybody, but if we do have some pairings who are interested in going on stream, we'll then look at which games we can arrange over the next 3 weeks. So please do bear that in mind. Last moan from me, last round was the most instances we've had of fixtures that weren't fulfilled. And all of them were games that tend to be left to week 3. Now, obviously I know sometimes that happens, but I would just encourage people, please try and the games were arranged for week 3 because that was just when it was done for. It wasn't necessarily, they could have been played before. If you can play them early, play them early. You never know what's going to happen. Let's try and get them fulfilled this time.
Yeah, great. Reach out to Ben, Adam, or myself if you want to go on the stream. We might reach out to you as well. I don't know if there's any questions in. We've had quite a lot in here. Everyone's noticing that Ben's enjoying rolling that Eldar dice. Seeing how many
17 sixes.
Yeah, when I rolled it, it was a 5? 4 and a 5?
It's, you see, it appears to be good, but you just haven't got the psychic powers.
No.
That's the problem. That was
2 in a row.
There we go.
That's a 3.
Oh, well, anyway, without further ado, thank you for watching the stream. We'll see you next time, and we'll post all the information on